Rapidly realize your potential through cloud analytics, machine learning, and mobility. Getting data in real time from every sensor in the field is the key to optimizing your operations. Now you can provide your team with secure, real-time, easy-to-read data anytime, anywhere, driving stronger business decisions at every level. Emerson's secure, scalable Zedi Cloud solutions enable operations around the world to compile data from any digital monitoring hardware via gateways that support a variety of protocols. We provide end users with a web interface, standard pre-configured screens for common applications, as well as the ability to push data to third-party platforms, allowing remote control and optimization via cloud-based data access. Fueled with the power to unlock the most value from your data with our SaaS cloud-based solutions, easily and seamlessly access current, user-friendly data for real-time, accurate decision-making gains. Our software applications are built for operations and are delivered as a service to ensure evergreen enhancements, secure storage, and full support. Increase profitability and operational excellence with our software solutions for better performing assets, streamlined compliance, and optimized resources. Discover how our cloud solutions will help you better understand big data with vivid analytics while providing greater mobility. Your journey to digital transformation will take your operations farther, faster.
Thank you for joining me today. My name is Travis Barnden, and today I'll be teaching you about Zedi's cloud-based software system, Zedi Access, for remote SCADA monitoring, control, and optimization. Our users can find their data up to the minute using either the internet or our mobile app Zedi Go that can be downloaded in your mobile app store. Zedi Access includes everything from pump monitoring, tank levels, video surveillance, and liquid composition management, measurement schematics, and much more. Hopefully at the end of this presentation, you'll have a better understanding on how Zedi Access can assist in your organizational goals and targets. So let's begin.
The system is permission-based, so what that means is you can grant varying permissions from everything from a view-only user all the way to full administrative access, which we'll get into on another video, but we'll touch on where you access those. So to begin, you have your well tree hierarchy on the left-hand side, and this is where you can find your locations. So we have varying levels of folder breakouts on the left-hand side here. Can be completely customizable. So each folder breakout, district, area, field, and then you have your locations here. And they will open up display, which will have data attached to it. Now each location can be deselected by clicking the box here, and you could open up an entire folder by clicking the box beside the folder as well. You can also search for locations. It is a smart search, and you can search by name, UWI, serial number, IP address, and Zedi ID. So by smart search, I mean if you type in a 1, it'll find a 1 within any one of those locations. You can select the box on the left here. It'll find it in that hierarchy, open it up, and then it'll open up on display. Now this hierarchy is company-wide, so everyone within the company will see the same folder breakout. Now if you're looking for a specific custom hierarchy, you can always go to Runs or Routes down at the bottom left. And from here you can create your own custom run or route. So to do that, you click New Run, type in a name, then you find whatever locations you want included in that route. Once again, drill down per folder, or you can search for anything in those folders themselves and add those to those locations. Now to prioritize those is all click and drag, and then we click Save. And then now that test folder is right here with those locations in that specific order every time we log in. To delete, all you have to do is click Edit Run. Now you can add other locations, or you can delete the entire run by clicking Delete and confirming that. Now it's removed. Now that is per user login specific, so each user login can create their own, and you cannot see anyone else's. So once we have our locations display opened here, we'll walk you through what you see here. So you have your location name, you have your UWI, and then your device type, and whether it's online, offline, or hibernating. So that would be pretty much the contract status you have with Zedi on how much time it's going to be transmitting and if it is transmitting. Your serial number of the device, your IP address can be seen by hovering over the IP address symbol, last transmission date and time, and then the yesterday's hours on and volume. Next, we'll have varying levels of sensors. So these sensors, once again, can be completely customized and dependent on which tags and sensors you are pulling from the display and from the RTU on site. Each one of these sensors can be selected here, and from here you can see a 7-day trend of that sensor, so you can hover over individual data points and see the 5-minute data packets that come out. You can adjust the date back up to 2 years. So we'll just go back to August 1st here as an example. So you select the date, you can select the time down at the bottom and click refresh. And then that whole sensor trend will be dated back to that time. You can also click and drag at any point, a certain point in time, and then view those individual data points once again. If we were to take a screenshot, on the right-hand side, you can quickly choose varying image updates as well. So that can be done for any one of these sensors on the display. You can also do control from this display. So as long as it's a SCADA, so it has a modem and an RTU on site, we have what we call our live data screens. So our live data screens is where we can control the device, and we can input devices so it writes down to the RTU. Once again, you have your sensors here, and then you demand pull the device, and demand pull will bring current data back from the device into our cloud-based system. We do not charge extra for any demand pulls that you use. You can change your gas gump and orifice plate straight from the device, and then that will write down to the RTU on site as well. Each one of these devices will refresh on their own, typically once an hour. Now, if you hit the demand pull, then they can refresh as frequently as you want to select that as well. We also have a summary tab up in the top left. The summary tab will show you all of your current locations on the hierarchy here, as well as all the data that you see, and also alarm notifications as well. So it's a quick screen link as to seeing all of your production all on one screen rather than each individual display. It's kind of a quick summary screen as well. We have a map tab up here as well, so this will show you where the locations are located on a map. They'll also show you the different values of each location, depending on the size of the sensor that it shows here. See the two different sizes and colors. So the red one means it is currently in alarm state, and the blue one means it is not. The bigger the bubble or diamond, the bigger the production is on that location. And finally, we have our analytics. So analytics is a way that we can show our data in a different way utilizing Tableau on the back-end server. This is a way that we can base it around different company personas and job titles, last month's volumes, total volume amounts, and all of the trends according to that. And this will show you on a main screen everything from the pressures, primary elements, the line sizes, to the default densities. It's all on one screen for, once again, every location you have open. We also have some custom analytics, which you can talk to our team or your sales rep about to get a little more info on that. But we can create custom dashboards for pretty much anything and everything as long as we're bringing back that data. So next we'll talk about alarming. Each one of these sensors on this display can be set up for an alarm. Now those alarms can be set up as a text message, an email, or both, and we can send it out to an individual user or a group of users. So those alarms can be viewed up in the top right-hand side. You'll see different colored bubbles and numbers associated to what current alarms are going off within those locations. So you have the gray bubble for no communications alarm, red bubble for high, high, and low, low, which are crowd alarms, and then an orange bubble for high and low alarms. And then the black and blue are for RTU. To customize those alarms, there's a few ways you can access those. You can see all of your current alarms by clicking the bubble itself. You can go into individual locations under the options menu and click configure alarm, or under admin, you can go alarms as well. So this alarm page will show first all of our current alarms. So from here, you can narrow it down using the search function, and you can group by location, or you can just see all the current ones that are active. From here, you can also acknowledge and clear alarms. So if I select this, here's where you can write a note, and it gets tracked which user login will have that acknowledgement, and you can track that at a later date as well. We have our history. So your history will show you all historical alarms. Once again, you have a search function up the top to help narrow down what you're looking for regarding the history. And it'll show you all the historical alarms for specific locations, at what time, and everything associated with those. You can also export this as well. Finally, we have configure. So configure is how we go in and edit those alarms. So if we select any one of these locations here, your first one we do have is a no communication alarm. So our no comms alarm is really built for if the device hasn't transmitted into the Zedi Access server for X amount of hours, we can send out an alarm notification. So from here, you can set the number of hours that it's set for. We also have a do not trigger alarm. So that's really like a snooze button. So from in the middle of the night, you can set it from say 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So those alarms won't be sent in that time frame. And then it'll be sent out at a later time send at 6 a.m. if there is still an alarm state for you. Finally, we have contact, and this is who receives that alarm. Now, any one of these other sensors can be set for having an alarm on it. This one is a battery voltage alarm. So once again, you'll see a similar trend, which you can adjust with date and time again to make sure that you're inside the proper amounts. And then here's where you enable and disable alarms by checking off the boxes, and then you have a set and reset value. So your set value is what will trigger the alarm. The reset value with reading goes above or below depending on high and low. The system itself will clear that alarm off rather than you having to come in and acknowledge every alarm. So if everything goes back to normal, you can go in and clear that alarm. We also have a hysteresis set and clear time. So the hysteresis set and clear time will delay sending the alarm and delay clearing that alarm for a predetermined set amount of time, so you don't get inundated with excess one-off alarms. So the system can check to make sure it currently is in alarm state, and it'll continue to send that alarm. Next, we have message. So this is the message that gets sent out as, once again, as a text message, email, or both. And this is predetermined, our basic message that gets sent out. Anything with a pound sign is preloaded from the system, but you can also customize it to whatever you like. Finally, we have contact. So once again, who receives that alarm? Is it a specific user, a group of users, or a contact schedule? And then there's a retry and retry interval. So the retry is how many times the alarm will continuously be sent out, and a retry interval will be how many times in what time frame those retries go. So for example, if we select 2 and 30 minutes, if this unit is still in alarm state, it'll send out 2 notifications, one every 30 minutes, to make sure that everyone gets notified that there is an alarm. We also have a test button down here. So this will send out a test alarm to make sure that the right people are receiving the alarm and everything works appropriately. I also mentioned contact schedule. So contact schedule can be utilized to create a schedule of who to contact when. So you can do shift work to make sure that the right people get notified. And there's also escalation points built into that as well. So if an alarm is still not heard, it can be escalated to someone superior so that they're notified of the alarm as well. To go back to the main screen, you can always click the home button or the logo up in the top left-hand side. Next, under the admin tab, we have a few other options here. Next one is company. So this is company notes. So this is everything that we utilize to make sure everything's set up appropriately and we have the right address, information, and the who to contact when section. It's also security settings and user login settings as well. Also, there is a hierarchy tab. So this is where administrators can go in, or our team, to go in to adjust the hierarchy. So you can go in and move folders around, add new locations, etc., etc. Property types are utilized for creating mobile data entry, which we utilize in Zedi Go. So for Zedi Go, we can enter basic data entry side of things, and that is where we go in to create those. And also we have units of measure. So units of measure is a company-wide change, but this is to show what units of measure are getting pulled for which tag specifically. So once again, this will show every type of unit that we pull and every type of reading that we come in for all of our devices. We can narrow it down once again, or we can go to whatever one we like. So if it's highlighted in blue, that means that is the predetermined set one. So everything new coming in will be set to that unless pre-authorized. So right now the volume is set to MCF, but if we select volume here, we'll see all the volume types that we're currently reading. So say for our estimated volume, we didn't want MCF, we can select that, and this will show all of our options that can be selected. So we can go to per day, and now every estimated volume that shows up on those well site displays will show up. So it's a way that you can customize it to your company's needs, and mind you that it is a company specific change as well. There is the users tab, and this is once again the administrative side of things, which we can dive into on our next video. And this is where administrators can come in and create new users, grant and change passwords, create user groups, which are just a group of users that can be clumped together so you can quickly add those to alarms or permissions. And then we have varying levels of permissions as well. So we have web-based permissions and well permissions are the main ones for Zedi Access. And the web permissions are really what doors you can open within Zedi Access, and well permissions are how you can step through those doors on each location by location basis. Next on your display, we'll go through our options menu. You have your data entry, which is that Zedi Go data entry. You have your event log, which will show any changes or events that were done on the RTU itself. Live data is the same button as the toggle up at the top here. Location properties, once again, to create those data entry side. Meter reports are your data all on one screen, and then your QTRs, which are your quantity transaction records. So these are your daily numbers accumulated together. So you'll have your contract hour here. So for this company's example, it is 8 o'clock, and you can view these QTRs. So this is once again for a 24-hour window. So you'll see your start time, end time, and then the time the QTR was created. Now, at any point, if there was a mistake or they lost communication for any time, you can always come in and correct this QTR, and then everyone within Zedi Access would see the same information, and then it would show as corrected and what date and time was corrected as well. Next, we'll jump up to our data. So up at the top left, we have our data options here. Data import is if you're doing mass changes on a mass level, we can import certain files into Zedi Access and make that change across the board, depending on what we're trying to change and what we're trying to import. We also have data push. So data push is a system that we provide that can send out your data into a third-party software. So whether that be another accounting software, we can create a data push that automatically will send that out anywhere from once a week to once an hour, depending on what is needed by the company itself. Finally, we have data exports. So these are pre-built exports that everyone can utilize that will show up and can be exported into Excel. So here you have your start and end date, which is the time frame that those alarms are included for. You can include all locations, or it'll pull from whatever locations you currently have selected in the hierarchy, and include column totals, yes, no. Now to walk through most of these reports, we have alarm duration, so how long alarms are going off for each individual location. Communication history report is at what points were communications missed for those certain locations, and what were the potential reasons for those. Daily QTR export, once again, are those daily numbers, so from your 24-hour periods, and for how long, include column totals as well. Event log, changes made to the RTU. Gas composition will show you those gas compositions for each location. Gas volume statements are any gas volume statements that we provide. And then the bottom half here are for varying accounting softwares. So they're pretty much similar to the QTR report with your daily numbers. Just the Excel formats are pre-built so that they can be uploaded into certain accounting softwares nicely and easily without any errors. Then on the right-hand side is more auditing reports used for administrative. So you have your alarm configurations. That shows all your alarm configurations. A location summary, so all your locations. User summary will show you all your users, and then groups and permissions will show you which groups have what permissions, and which users have what permissions as well. So those are your main data exports. Once again, they'll come out as an Excel file, and then you're good to go. Again, to go back to the home screen, click the home button. We have reports. So reports is really the reports that we can create and provide for our users. The well site summary will once again show you a summary of all your locations summarized together. And volume validation is one that we use internally to create your gas volume statements. Next, we have Report Manager and Report Center. Report Manager is an older version of Report Center, and it has some saved reports for certain customers, so we continue utilizing that. But Report Center is where you can go in and you can customize your own custom report. Click Show All, and this will create your own custom report. Anything with a black S associated with it is a system created report. So this is Zedi provided once again, and it'll kind of explain what it is. So you have your 31-day volumes and pressures, well summary, etc., etc. Now this star is how you favorite a report, and that'll make it come up on that main page. So if we favorite the 1-day hours on liquids, and we come back into Report Center, we can see it right here, and so it's easily accessible. And these reports are really a template that can be used on multiple locations. So much like the exports, it'll pull from whatever locations are currently open on the well site display. So it can be used on multiple locations and multiple runs and routes, depending on which ones you have open, and it's not locked to a specific location at all. We can also click Add to create our own custom report, and these reports eventually can be saved as user specific, so only one user can see them, or company-wide, so everyone in the company can hit that Show All button and utilize those reports. Now you have a few options when you start customizing this report. So your first one is type of data, generally will always be sensor data. Data resolution will either be daily QTRs, so those daily numbers, hourly QTRs, or raw. Raw is those 5-minute data packets worth of information. And then your date range. So you can have an N number of days, so it'll pull back X number of days back. Custom specific date to specific date. Month to date, so obviously from the start of the month to current. And the last month will be just the last month's worth of data. So we'll just do last 14 days for this example. Next, you choose whatever sensors you'd like to be on this report. So we can open up the EFM, and then we can select a few options here. So we'll just select volume, static pressure, and gas flow rate. And from here, you can adjust the units of measure once again, and this will be just for this report. So if you'd like to see your volumes, you can utilize that. And then next, we can see it as a graph. So if we go to graph here, once again, we'll have all of our locations that we have open on the left-hand side here. And then it'll be location by location. You'll be able to view that same report and on that time frame we selected. Now you can always make a one-time adjustment, but it'll always revert back to the 14 days. And now you can also deselect your sensors. So you can have up to 6 sensors on this screen, so it can get a little convoluted. So you can deselect them or reselect them as you see fit. And as in all of our graphs, you can always click and drag to zoom in. And then you can go back to location as you see fit. You can also export this report. So as you export it, it comes out as an Excel format. Once again, you can include totals, yes, no. Number of files, one or many. So one file would be all of your locations on one Excel file. Many would be each individual location gets its own Excel file once exported. And side-by-side format means it's all on the rows, information along the rows rather than along the columns within the Excel as well. And then finally, we have save. So save is the way it comes in and who can view and utilize this report. So here's the report scope. So as I said earlier, you can either save it as a user, so only my user login can view that report, or company, which everyone within the company can hit that show all button and utilize this report. So we just go training and favorite that report and click save. We'll say report has been saved. Now say we come in and we want to utilize that report, we can go back to Report Center and then under the training, we can always click the graph button to view the graph. And once again, that same graph will come up. We can also export this straight from here as well, and then that'll come out as an Excel spreadsheet. Also, you may have noticed there is the same buttons here. So you have your graph button here, so you can click training, and now it will be for that one specific location. This is a quick way to utilize that, and then you can export those same reports as well. Finally, we have an X here, which will close out the button as it would if you selected the box at the bottom. Finally, we have a help function. So under help, we have a few options here. We have an online help, which is an online knowledge database of everything Zedi. Next, we have our support tab. So our support tab leads you to our customer care line, and you can submit a ticket. So this is 24/7 coverage. And once again, this is included in the Zedi Access fees. And they're there to really help you with everything from resetting password to helping you create report and troubleshooting locations. So any issues you may have, you can call to contact them, and they'd be more happy to assist. Thank you so much. Have a great day.